Hey everyone, it's Krista here with Outgrowing, and today I wanted to sit down and have a little chat with you guys about something a little bit different than what I've normally talked about. Mostly I talk about flower farming, vegetable gardening, cattle, the ranch life, homesteading a bit, kind of stuff like that. And and so this is a little bit different, but I was like, you know what? Should I or shouldn't I share this? And I thought I'm going to share it because I think my channel is a bit more like a vlog than it would be so much an informational video. Um, so I decided, you know what? I'm going to share this because this is a part of what makes me who I am. And this is kind of it's a bit of a driving force as to why I love gardening so much. I love being outside and all that stuff. So I thought, well, I'm going to share this with you guys, and it's part of me. It's part of my channel. So, and what makes my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and share that yesterday I celebrated something very, I guess, well, technically it would have been January 7th would have been the day I celebrated 365 days of alcohol free. And so that has been a pretty big step in my life. So for 2023, I decided that I wanted to start the healing journey in my life. I've had a lot of, there's been some trauma. There's been some, I'll say baggage, good, bad, ugly. I've had a lot of that in my 40 years of life, and I feel like I'm in the right place to start the journey to healing from what is preventing me to live my best life. And so that was a pretty big decision, and to say it out loud, like, I'm ready to do this now. And so I said, in order to heal, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. In order to heal, you must feel the feels. And in order to do that, I needed to give up that exact thing that was preventing me from feeling those feels. And over the course of my 41 years of life, I have managed to not feel those by, for the most part, abusing substances. In my earlier life, it was drugs. And as I've gotten rid of that, I almost like supplemented the drugs with alcohol. And I wouldn't say that I was a raging alcoholic, but functioning, yes. So that, for me, I was like, I need to not. And I know that I was at the point that I still could make that decision for myself. I understand that everybody's addiction is totally different, and everybody's journey in life is a different journey. And so this is mine. It has nothing to do with anybody else's or anybody else's sobriety or alcohol-free life, whatever. But yeah, so for me, I decided that in order to do that, I was going to have to take a pause from the drinking. And I love drinking. I loved drinking wine and that sweet red wine buzz that you would get when you had your first glass. And I enjoyed eating good food with friends and enjoying a glass of wine, or getting home from a long day of work and having a glass of wine while I made supper. I loved that. Like, that was such a big part of my life. The problem is that it was not that anymore. And it was getting to the point where it was like, I would be like, okay, I can't wait to get to the farm on Friday because then I can have my glass of wine. And then it was like, I didn't really care what else was happening, just as long as I was having that glass of wine. And that kind of all spiraled, I think, when COVID started. You know, it was like 2 months I shut down my business. And for 2 months, we just like hung out, had a good time, drank lots, got to know each other. It was awesome. So much fun. And it never stopped. It was like, that's the habit we kind of got into. It was like, okay, it was the weekend. We were just going to drink. And it was like Friday night having drinks while making supper. And then Saturday happy hour with our friends. And same thing Sunday. And then Monday. And then back to work Tuesday. So, and then I was finding myself like staying at the farm on Mondays just so that I could have a couple drinks, and then I'd get up early and feel like crap Tuesday. So anyways, I was in this bad habit going on in my life there, and it was just, I needed to check that for a bit. So at first I was like, I'm just going to do like 60 days. And then I was like, okay, 100, like that's, or yes, no, 90 days. It was 90 days. And then I was like, I'm just going to go 100 days, like 3 months. Okay, 100 days it is. So I went to 100 days and I was like, you know what? I just started to feel good because, and not 100%, but 1 week after I decided this, or 1 week after the day I decided, so it was January 8th, I was like, okay, I'm not drinking for a while and I'm going to start this healing journey. Weekend, I got super sick with a respiratory infection of some kind and like landed myself in the ICU in the hospital for a week. And so I knew as soon as that happened that my main focus was to be well physically, mentally, spiritually, like all that. I needed to focus 100% of my energy on that. And so I knew that drinking was something I couldn't do anytime soon. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to not drink. And then I got to like the 6 month, 7 month mark. And I was like, you know what? I've come this far. I'm going to go to a year. And so here I am celebrating 360, I guess 65, 60, today's 367 days and I'm videoing this because I had to contemplate whether I was going to do this or not, but it's 367 days now. And so I'm happy to say that I've done that. I've had so many people asking me, like, when am I going to start drinking again? What am I going to do? What my plans are, like, whatever. And, to be honest, I have no plans to drink again. Like, I have none. I also am very real, though, in that, life is short. And there may be something where that comes along in my life where it's like, yes, I want to have a glass of wine at that. And I am not going to deny myself that. But there hasn't been anything so far. We've done Christmas, we've done New Year's, we've had birthdays, we've had, cooking classes, golf tournaments, been out golfing. We've done a lot of things and not once have I thought I want to have a drink. I guess over Christmas was one time I was like, oh man, like a glass of wine would be nice right now. But then I thought to myself, but why, like, what's the point of having one glass of wine? Like, there is no point. So I just chose not to. And I've always told myself that, like, if I want to have a drink, I can have a drink. It's not that you cannot. But for me, I love the way that I feel. I love the experience. Like, I loved experiencing things sober. I have loved it. My first experience that I really, truly felt like, okay, I'm good and I can do this and this is awesome, was 7 months in. It was my dad's 70th birthday. We went and did a cooking class at a cooking school in Regina. And it was myself, my sister, my brother, my dad, and my sister-in-law. And we went to go do this cooking class. And it was just fun. It was exciting. We learned something. We were doing something together as a family. And it was awesome. And I left there and I could drive back to the farm because I hadn't had any drinks. I was happy when I got home and I had a good sleep and I woke up the next day feeling great. And then I was like, when I was driving home, I just thought, like, from that, I thought, that was awesome. That was so much fun. And then after that, it just proceeded along. Like, there was just like, the next things that I did were like, it was like golf tournaments and it was like, that was awesome. I'm not making an ass out of myself. I'm not too drunk. I mean, this is something I shouldn't mention, but I remember there was a birthday not too many years ago when it was very, very hot out. It was my birthday and it was very hot out and the sprinklers were going and there was me buck naked sprinting across the golf course because it was so hot and I was drunk and doing dumb shit. So there was none of that. I think I've like leveled up in my life now, but anyways, we all do dumb things. And so that was one of them. And, I just had so much, I've just totally thoroughly enjoyed all my experiences I've had being alcohol free over the last year. And so I don't intend to drink again. That's not my intention at all. But if there's a thing that I am doing, I feel like that's what I want to do, fine. There's so many alcohol free options out there that if you didn't tell somebody that it was alcohol free, they would never know. And that's awesome. There's like, one thing I said that when I first started, it was like, I would think to myself, Kate, I feel like I need to have a drink to go do this. This is when I first started. And I was like, okay, Krista, if you think you need to have a drink to go do that social event, why the fuck are you going? Like, you clearly don't want to. That's not the people you want to be around. That's not the atmosphere you want to be around. That's not the you don't want to do that. Like, why are you doing that? So I just didn't. And that was a super aha moment for me. Like, don't do shit you don't want to do. Life is too short. Spend it with the people you love, the people that support you, the people that, inspire you, and do the things that you love. That's it. And so consequently, I haven't done a lot of things that I normally used to do, and I'm okay with that because that's not truly what I'd want to do. How have I made it through this 365 days? Well, I've had the most unreal support system you could ever possibly imagine. Hey, you're not supposed to be up there. Aww. Did you lose your spring? You're so cute. Okay, go find your spring. No, Texas. Anyways, sorry about that. So I've had the most amazing support system ever, starting with Mark, my partner. He's unreal. He's just been like the most gentle, kind, forgiving, loving, understanding person ever. He's never ever once, Tex, you can't be here. He's never once made me feel like I needed to have a drink to do something. There's times that he's like, so are you gonna have a drink? It's like, no, I'm not. No. So he's been just amazing in the whole thing. And I think that's even partly why I chose to do this now, because I felt like I had the support. I was in like this safe space to do that. And yeah, you know what? Truly, I am in a safe space to do that. And even, my family, like, they've been super awesome. They've been supportive. They've cheered me on every single month of the way. They've been there for me the whole time. And that's been great. And then, my friends, like, surprisingly, we all love to drink and eat food together, or drink and go golfing, or drink and do whatever. And drinking was a part of everything we did. And, a lot of my friends have chosen to not drink. Have chosen to put the booze aside as well over 2023. And most of them maybe started in the last 6 months or whatever, but they've chosen to do that, and it's been awesome. Like, our relationships have been great. Our conversations have been amazing. It's been nice to do that. And it was a really nice realization to me that, like, these are true friends. They support what I'm doing. They don't question it. And they don't ever ask me, like, when are you going to drink? So that I'm super appreciative. Like, I love that. And I guess I didn't even know how awesome these friends were until I was put in this situation, and they all supported me. And so that's been really, really cool. So I have gone through this year with just having the most amazing support system and being really determined, and I'm very stubborn. When I say I'm going to do something, I do not piss around. That's just not a thing I do. So, but yeah, it has been an awesome year. It has been so rewarding in so many ways. And so, I think if you are thinking of, deciding to go alcohol free, or trying, you're sober curious, or you want to try sobriety, like, go for it. It doesn't have to be forever. Like, nothing has to be. You can do whatever you want. It's your journey. It's your life. It's your story. It's you, and you do you. And I think that's really important to remember. Like, there's no two people the same, and there's no two people that, like, their journey doesn't have to match. And so I know that, I was putting myself out there a little bit when I was like, okay, when I told people yesterday, I put a post on social media, and now doing this, I kind of am like, I did put a little disclaimer at the bottom that, like, I'm not saying I'm never going to have a drink again in my life, but life is awesome without. I don't ever feel like I need it. I don't miss it. And I don't have plans to, but I don't have plans to have a drink. But if there's a time where it's like, like toasting at a wedding or something and having a little glass of champagne, well, I'm not going to be, can't do that. Like, life still goes on. And, but for me, I've lived a lot of my life, trying not to feel things. And so when I decided that I wanted to heal and to feel, I knew that this was exactly what had to happen. And then I got myself a therapist. I got myself a new family doctor. I have a respirologist that I'll be meeting with at the end of next month from when I got sick. And so I put in this like amazing team of people around me to support me in this journey and to like get me to the place where I feel that this is what my intentions were when I just said I wanted to heal. And I'm not there yet. I know I'm getting there, but I feel like I've just scratched the surface. Like, trust me, when you're 41 years old, you have a lot of baggage. Good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. And everybody's baggage is different. And what may seem to some person in my life like that's not baggage may seem like horrendous to the next person. Everybody has their own set of baggage. And some of us are better at dealing with it when it presents itself. And some of us are not. And I would be one that is not. And I have pretty much masked or not felt things my entire adult life, starting with drugs. And that was, in my 20s, I experienced something extremely traumatic. And the first friend that offered me a line of cocaine, I knew from that point on that I was in trouble. So I went down that road doing like hard drugs for a few years. And then I knew I wanted a different life. And so I chose to move back home to Saskatchewan from Alberta. And then when I moved back home, I did pretty good for a while. But like drinking has always been a pretty significant part of my life. And so, and I'm not saying I've seen a lot worse alcoholics for sure, but it didn't allow me to focus and to really feel the things that I wanted to feel and to really work on myself and to be that person that I want to be. Like it just never allowed for that. So taking that out of my life has definitely opened up a lot of feelings and emotions and things that I've never felt before, but I'm embracing it and I love it. I love feeling those things. So it is awesome. It is very awesome. It's the first time in my entire life I've ever had this amount of time sober, because I've always drank since I was a teenager. That's something that we've always done, and then it progressed into adulthood. Then I like mixed in drugs into there for a while. And I always knew that there was a better life for me. And the same thing with alcohol. Like I just know that there is a better life for me. And so I've chosen to find that better life and to go on that path. Like, I mean, I have a great life and I always have, and I'm not going to say I have not, but there are definitely some moments in time that have changed the course of my life and what has made me the person that I am, which I'm happy about that. But sometimes you have to unpack those things and to acknowledge them instead of just like sweeping them under the carpet all the time. And so that's what this journey has been about for me. And so the last 367 days have been awesome. I wanted to share this video because I've been so inspired by other people who have shared their stories. So I thought, well, I'm going to share just a brief little summary of what is going on with me. And throughout the lifetime of my YouTube channel, there may be more come along with that to share with you guys. I just think it's a lot. I mean, I see my therapist once every 2 months, and I need a 2-month break to unpack and to like process everything that we went through. And so it's just, there'd never be enough time in this video. We'd be here for days and days and days. So, and it's not all bad. There's lots of good and and I think everything in my life has provided me with a lot of life lessons and has made me the person that I am today. And I do not regret a single thing, but that doesn't mean I don't have baggage nonetheless. And so this is the opportunity in my life to really, really just work through it all. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that I have inspired somebody to, open up about themselves or to like take on a new challenge in their own life or whatever. And just remember, your journey is your journey. There's no comparing two addicts to another. There's no comparing two people's, issues to another person's, because what it is to you, it is to you. And what it is to them, it is to them. So you can't compare anything. And so you live your life for you and do your journey for you, and just remember that, like, don't compare yourself to somebody else. One time somebody said to me, it was a friend that, like, I lived with in Canmore, and I met up with them. They came through Regina here a few years back. And I said, I told him I had to get out of Canmore because I couldn't get away from the drugs. Like, I just couldn't get away from it. And he said to me, you weren't as addicted as me. You just ran out of money. And, which, I mean, is partly true. I mean, I was working, but, like, it was like, but I'm like, okay, for one, I'm like, I wasn't really trying to compare this. That's not what I was saying. But for two, like, your journey is your journey and mine is mine. And I knew I had to get out of there because I couldn't stop. And if I had stayed, I would be dead. And so, anyways, I remember it's kind of sat with me for a bit, and I thought, like, no, you know what? You can't, because we're such individual people and we have our own story, and that, it didn't decrease the addiction I had to drugs at that time in my life. And so I just want everybody to remember that no matter where you're at in your journey, or how anything, like how severe you think you are or not severe you think you are, for you, if it is an issue for you, it is an issue for you. And that is the number one thing. So if you want to try sober living, or you want to try, getting off of alcohol, drugs, whatever, for a short time, whatever, do it for you. Number one, just do it for you, and then do your journey and go on it, because that, at the end of the day, it's about you and living your life, and the best one you could possibly have. Life is short. I think that we need to remember that. And so it is so important that we look after ourselves. And at the end of the day, what you have going on in your life is specifically what you have going on in your life. And that is the only person that matters to is you. And if you can have some awesome support along the way, even all the better, which I'm sure you will. You just have to find it. And it may not be in the people that you think it should be in. It may be in different people, but you know what? It is out there. So that's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. I'm happy that I'm sharing this. I think it is important, and it is an integral piece of, like, what makes me, and what is the driving force in all that I do. And in fact, in the garden, like, it is therapy to me. So I think that it was important to share this with you guys. Because there's a lot of times that, like, I am dealing with things that I'm, like, in the garden and doing that stuff, and just on the farm out with the cows, like, mentally just processing stuff. And that's, there's that. This information is behind a lot of the things that I do in my life, especially in the garden, at the farm, and all that good stuff. So I am going to wrap it up there, so this video doesn't take forever and ever and ever. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Please comment in the section if you yourself have ever tried, alcohol free, tried therapy, if you have any sober time, if you are, an addict, I don't care. Comment in there, share with me, you guys. I love that. I love hearing people's stories. I think it is amazing. So please share yours. My next video is going to be talking about vegetable seeds that I'm going to be ordering ASAP here. But right now we're in a bit of a deep freeze at home, so I'm not thinking about that at this moment. I'm just being cozied up, cuddled up, and reading books. So I hope to get that video out to you guys in the next week or so, but that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like the video, give me a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to subscribe. I would love that and appreciate that. And, most of my videos are on gardening, flowers, vegetables, farm life, ranch life, all that kind of stuff, simple living. But, but I imagine now that I've opened up this can of worms that it'll evolve into some other aspects while doing so. So I'm really excited about that. So definitely hit subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos, and we'll check you guys next time. Thanks for watching.